year then, but you said after your divorce, you were dating quite a lot.
I was dating, going on dates.
Okay.
I still go on dates.
Yeah. How many, like per week on average, like how many dates do you go on?
Maybe two.
Two dates per week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or I mostly meet people organic when I go out.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more legitimate, better. I think the online is just a shortcut to get more information quicker, easier. But my personal opinion, I don't think men is as masculine as should be, or gentlemen as should be. I think the cesspool of the dating apps and all this is just a very visible thing for people to look and see you, thank you, bye, next.
How old did you say you are?
How old I am? I'm 49. I'm going to be March 15, 50.
How old is your son?
My son is 25.
What year were you born in? What year were you born in?
Me?
Yeah.
76.
You mentioned that you say that men are not masculine.
No, I think men masculine that know what he wants and he knows his value.
Yeah.
His approach is very elegant, assertive, and planning and creating and putting the effort. When you have one thing in mind to just go between the sheets, so it's a different vibe. You ask different questions.
I'm a little... I want to explore this masculine thing really soon, though. You say a lot of men aren't masculine, but do you consider yourself feminine?
I'm feminine, very feminine.
Are you?
Yes.
Are you submissive?
I am submissive.
I mean, look...
Because my profession and my success,
Are you?
You think I'm not?
Well, I mean, I don't think this is like overly exposing anything. But so we have rules here in the studio, and we asked you to take your shoes off, and you said, why?
Because why do I have to take my shoes off?
Here's the thing with being submissive or even just following anybody's rules. I don't need a fucking reason. I don't need to, as a woman, if you're going to be submissive and I tell you, don't question my authority in the, I know we're not dating, but I think you should actually show more deference and respect to a stranger when you're going into their house versus like a guy you're dating. But like,
I didn't even think it's a house. I thought it's the office. That's why I didn't know.
What does
I
it
don't
matter?
know.
Submission comes with trust, though. What you're talking about sounds like
But,
slavery. That sounds like slavery. That don't sound like submission.
So you're saying if you go over to somebody's house and they have like a no shoes indoor policy, you're going to start questioning it.
We don't know you, so we don't trust
your
your judgment.
You should get a doormat.
If you go into somebody's house and you don't know, if you go into somebody's house and you don't know,
it doesn't matter about
not
my
ask
hold
any
on.
questions. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you don't. No.
You ask questions because you're trying to understand somebody's thought process.
Wait, you've never been to a house and somebody asked you to like take their shoes off?
Actually,
I'm
in
not
my
saying
house,
that.
you take off the shoes. Yeah.
Even at her, she has the rule
Yeah.
herself.
That's true.
Why?
But
has the
I
rule
ask
herself.
why, because I
Why?
would like to understand, because
Why?
I thought I'm walking into an office, a studio. I don't know I walk into a house. You need to explain.
Facts.
No, you don't need to explain. Of
course
no
you
justification. No.
Get
if
a
there's
mat.
if there's a rule, no justification.
But you
is
should have
needed.
at least tell to me in the beginning, hey, I have certain rule and I would like you to accumulate or respect my rule. Give to me before. I don't know you. You don't know
isn't
me.
it your instinct normally to see if you have to take your shoes off before you walk into somebody's house or to somebody's
didn't
property?
know it's the house.
But even if it's not, and he says, "Can you take your shoes off?" You're walking into somebody else's
I ask
property.
why.
You guys sent
Because
so
what's
many
next?
rules. However, you didn't say that we were going to be taking our shoes off. I would wear socks if I
Exactly.
would have known that.
I
But
have
I
heels
still
in
took
my
my shoes
bag
off.
right now because I thought like
Just saying.
we can't wear heels because like I don't know maybe
So that they're not clicking. But
Yeah.
we're not even wearing shoes. So why did it matter?
Submitting is
You've just come inside, and it's like pouring rain outside.
No shoes.
Yeah,
You're
it's-
obviously going to have like water and stuff on the bottom of your shoes.
Even when it's
How is
dry
it
outside,
hold on a
that's not
second.
the
How is it
point.
in any way not reasonable
You
to just
don't
ask to
even
take?
allow my
Hold on a
own
second.
water.
Wait until I finish. How's it not reasonable to just ask somebody to take their shoes off, especially considering like the weather?
It is, but how is it reasonable to get upset when someone says why?
It's drizzling.
Maybe
no,
her feet
he's
was
just-
funky
he's
and
just-
she wanted to know if she really had to do it or she could conceal the funk of her feet.
If you have funky feet, then you should try his products for that. You know what I mean?
I have beautiful feet and I love my stiletto.
Then you
It's
should
very
be
hard
happy-
for me to let them go
Happy
off
to
my
get them
feet.
out. Yeah.
Women should be
spend
submissive
money
to
on
a good
these.
leader. Part of being a good leader is answering some questions
Nope.
you might not, or
Nope.
explaining. Yeah,
I don't need.
you have no emotional intelligence
Here.
to explain.
Are you a
yourself.
Scorpio?
This is why this is why astrology is bullshit, because she has a totally wrong read on my my horoscope. But I mean, look, it's a little different, but I'm trying to like approach it. Hey, stop! No sidebar.
My bad.
We've already you've been on the show
yelling at me.
fucking 5 times. You can't be interrupting when other people are talking. So I know in a relationship there's going to be certain dynamics, right? But like I think if you're going over to somebody's place, we're not even talking about like a romantic type scenario. So it's like if you're going into somebody's place, it's their rules. Like I don't care how fucking stupid you think it is. If they're like, here, you got to wear this fucking In-N-Out hat. Do I have one here? Where is it? I don't. Oh, here we go. If I'm like, if you want to come into this fucking studio, you got to wear this. And if like you don't want to do it, there's the fucking door. I don't need to explain myself. I can have whatever dumbass fucking rule I want. That's how it is. If it's your crib, you can have hey, no smoking in here. Why not? Wouldn't you be upset if somebody came to your house, was about to light up a cigarette, and you're like, hey, don't do that. And they're like, why not? You're like, hold on. I don't got to explain it to you. No is a complete sentence.
Right.
No, period.
It's a little
No is a
different
complete sentence.
because not everyone smokes, but everyone wears shoes. So like if you say no, I would understand why.
Right.
It's just the rule though. Like doesn't
It's
really
the
matter
rule.
if
It
everybody
doesn't matter.
does.
Okay,
Again,
and,
again,
and
somebody's
if
house
he
and
told
be
you
in
to
a
wear that
relationship
In-N-Out
is two
hat,
different
would you
things.
not ask why? Be honest.
But it is different though, wearing an In-N-Out hat. It's like a pretty extreme example. So
Right, it's different
But
smoking
the-
a cigarette in
but
someone's house.
I don't know why you guys are
Take your
laughing
shoes
like
off.
there's some sort of a point that
But
you
it's
made.
also etiquette.
But is
we're
this have
taking
to
your
do-
shoes off.
what
Hold
is
on a
this-
second. Wait. Taking your shoes off when you go into somebody's house is a really sort of basic rule.
Wait, hold on. Jake, not to interrupt you. Guys, he's speaking. We let you guys finish. You guys can't be interrupting. Don't be laughing at him while he's trying to explain this. Just let him talk. If you guys have a response, you can. But this show's going to be very frustrating for everybody if we're over talking each other, interrupting each other. Show some courtesy. Let people finish. Go ahead, Jake. Didn't mean to interrupt.
Yes, we are going to be here for 8 hours together. So it'd be best if we can not interrupt. But yeah, I mean, just taking your shoes off, that's a basic universal thing. In places like Japan, for example, you can't go into somebody's house without taking your shoes off. So his rule there is so reasonable. I don't see how it's not reasonable in any way. But to the point that he's making, though, it's more of a submission thing. He's questioning whether you're a submissive person or not.
I am submissive and I like to accept anything and anyone when I explain. It have to be reasonable to me. I mean, you're going to tell me, hey, over here people jump 5 feet. Okay, see you. This is my point.
But you have the rule, like, you have the rule in your own household.
In my home, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not like you probably have justifications of your own for why you want people to take their shoes off in your home. So it's kind of like you already know the reasons. Whatever the reasons you have are probably pretty similar to the reasons we have.
Yeah.
We don't want people like, we have probably additional reasons too. We don't want people like dragging in like dirt from the outside. It's raining, of course.
Absolutely,
And then there's
I agree.
certain- and also just noise too. Like shoes are a bit louder, so when you're walking, it creates more noise.
I agree with you, but you sent to me a shopping list of instruction. There was no instruction for my stilettos.
Actually, we do say no heels. Although to be charitable to you, our arrangement, like getting you on the show, was kind of last minute. So maybe you had your shoes on before. That's fine. In the rules, we do say like no heels. I'm not actually going to fault you on that. That's not a huge deal. But just because of like everything that we send you pre-show, that isn't some sort of like gotcha or like, oh, just because whatever you send via message doesn't prevent me from having additional rules that were not previously disclosed to you that I would otherwise request you to abide by. Like, before somebody comes over to your house, do you always like tell them, by the way, before you come over, you're gonna have to take your shoes off? Probably not.
Absolutely. I prepare people.
You tell them, like,
Yes.
every single person who's ever been to your house, you tell them, like,
Yes.
by the way, before you can't smoke in my house, like you can't, you're gonna have to take your shoes off at the
No,
front
if
door.
they ask to me if there is anything, I
Oh,
should.
if they ask.
Yeah.
Oh, did you ask me if there were any rules?
You sent to me a list, so I
sent
thought
to-
it
yeah.
should be on it.
I sent you some pre-show information,
Yeah.
but do you also remember when Damien here spent 10 minutes going over other rules too? So we're not going to disclose every single little thing like in that thing. We're going to do like kind of the most important stuff, and then some of the more like the things that we can just tell you once you're in studio, we're going to save that for when you're in studio.
Darling, my shoes are off. My stilettos are there.
Yeah.
It's okay.
That's
It's okay.
that's totally cool, but now we're having a conversation.
Yeah. You
It-
think I'm not submissive, but
Well,
I think
I don't
I
think
am.
not having
Yeah.
shoes
But-
on
but-
was the
And
problem.
house rules
I
and
don't
being
think
in a
that
relationship.
question was the
Well, let me ask you a
problem
question.
at
Hold on,
all.
no, hold on. Let me explore this a bit further. So you said you were married, right?
I was married.
Right. And so your husband, who was he
What?
was he the leader in the household?
Yes,
He had the authority in the household?
absolutely.
He wanted to move to Tennessee?
Yes.
And so he wasn't the person to like, you guys were having conflict about that, right?
No.
Isn't that the reason for the divorce? He wanted
No.
to move to Tennessee. You wanted to stay here for your son's
No, the
water polo
plan
career.
was I will follow him later on.
Follow him later on.
Yes, but he meets somebody when he moved there.
Wait, when you say the plan, like, did he want you? Hold on.
The plan was when my son water polo career will end and start college, and I will follow him every time that my son have time off. We go to Tennessee, back and forth to California and Tennessee.
But I mean, didn't he originally want you to go to Tennessee with him?
Originally, that was the plan. Yes.
Right, but you were like, no, I'm going to prioritize the water polo thing for my son, even though your husband is saying, no, maybe he can do water polo in Tennessee.
No, it was the mutual agreement.
Was it?
Yes.
Because women say they're submissive and then they'll argue, and then the guy will finally be like, fuck it, whatever. Oh, that's a mutual understanding. If he was like, I want you to come, and you like had like days upon days of like back and forth discussion, oh, I don't know, I really want to prioritize this, that's not being submissive to your husband. If your husband was like, hey, we're going to Tennessee, we can figure out the son's situation. Oh my God, what the fuck is going on today? Yeah, it's fine.
The house in Manhattan Beach was on both of us' names, so I don't think there was anything argue about.
I mean, I'm not sure what that has to do with the whole. I mean, do you think it could be the case? Like he wanted you to go to Tennessee with him, you
No,
didn't.
No, it was not. We stayed friends after, even so he got married.
But I mean, I guess what I'm confused about is that it sounded like he wanted you to go with him to Tennessee. Was there any infidelity in the relationship before
No,
the move?
No.
But because he moved to Tennessee alone and you wanted to stay in California? Or I don't know where you were.
I went back and forth.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. He says, I want you to come to Tennessee. Excuse me. I want you to come to.
He didn't say I want you to come. The agreement,
Wait,
the
you're-
mutual agreement, don't change my words,
Okay.
please.
I don't know all the details. Go ahead.
The detail and the mutual agreement was we buy a house in Tennessee and slowly I'm going to move out there. In the process, he meets somebody there and I say, okay, good luck. I stay here. What not to understand? It was a mutual agreement to move.
I mean, look, I don't know all the details with anything. There's always a lot of information that you can't always convey. But the way you originally explained it, like the first thing when I asked about the nature of the divorce, is you said something along the lines of, my husband wanted to move to Tennessee. My son had this water polo career. I wanted to stay here. I mean, I'm curious, why offer up this detail that now you're saying doesn't matter, but at least the way you originally explained it seems like that was a major cause for like the breakdown of the relationship. He wanted to move somewhere else. You wanted to stay here. I guess at the end you came to a mutual understanding, but like if you're just telling him, no, I want to stay here, and you're not kind of going with his will of like, I want to move us to Tennessee. I mean, I don't know.
Mutual agreement, and things just didn't develop the way we both planned.
Why did he want to move to Tennessee?
He wanted to go back to his roots, to the mountains. We had a house over there. We bought together over there. It was great. The plan was initially to move there, but things happened along the way.
So I guess my question is, what was the first thing he wanted? Did he want all three of, like you, your son, him, well, his son also, to move to Tennessee?
No.
So just to be clear, he's married to, I guess at that point, the love of his life. He has a son that he cares about and loves. He wants to move and not have you go. Do you see why I'm a bit confused?
It was the process. We agree on a process, but it was the timing, the real estate to buy the house with the ranch that we wanted at the time. It was a great opportunity. And I say we agree together. You go ahead and I do the back and forth until we figure out with Poly Water Polo in college. Then we'll see what is the next step. Along the way, he meets somebody and he decides that's what he wants. So
just to be clear, he wanted to move, but he was fine with you guys from the very beginning.
To do
from
the back and
the
forth.
very beginning, he was like, you guys stay here. I mean, I have to take your word for it, so I'll leave it at that, but